Hello and a very warm welcome. This is our special segment, How Safe is Your Building? With the recent seismic events shaking up cities worldwide, the most recent being Jaipur, with 3 successive tremors back to back within 30 minutes, it's crucial to address the safety of our homes and workplaces alike. Today, we're embarking on a journey to uncover the potential risks and vulnerabilities in the structures we live and trust every day. We'll speak to a town planner, a disaster management expert who will share their insights and knowledge on what makes a building truly safe during earthquakes and other natural calamities. We'll also take a closer look at past earthquakes and their devastating impact on poorly constructed buildings, reminding us of the importance of adhering to rigorous safety standards. We all remember the horrors of Turkey, now don't we? 50,000 plus lives were lost in Turkey's earthquake. But it's not all doom and gloom. We'll also talk about inspiring stories of earthquake-resistant constructions and innovative technologies that can help save lives during seismic events. And of course, we can't forget the essential aspect of earthquake preparedness. From safety drills to emergency kits, we'll discuss practical steps you and your loved ones can take to be ready for any eventuality. So get down in the comment sections, because this is certainly a crucial episode as we endeavor to answer the question, how safe is your building? Shanta, you've spoken to the major stakeholders, you've spoken to residents. How do you look at, and of course the documentary begins with shots from Turkey, those devastating shots. Delhi is, seismic activity in Delhi is nothing new. How are you first and foremost looking at the latest tremors that took place in Jaipur? 3 of those back to back, 4.06, 4.0, successively greater on the Richter scale, each of those. About that, first, your viewpoint on Jaipur and 3-4 top factors that are essentially hurting our urban planning when we're looking at buildings, how safe they are, and seismic activity.
See, tremors are most likely to occur in the coming years, of course, because Jaipur, Delhi and Gurgaon and all these areas are in seismic zone 4, and which is quite closer to the Himalayas. So definitely, as our expert just said, that there are 2 plates, Indian plate and the Eurasian plate, and the Indian plate is subducting into Eurasian plate. For that reason, the Himalayas are still growing and in height, and hence, since the plates are continuously moving at 47 millimeter, that's why Himalayas are growing, and there will be tremors that will be arising from this area. So it is a seismic zone 4, that's where the Jaipur and Delhi and likes of
essentially
Gurgaon
these are the cards that we're being dealt
exactly.
with. We can't run away from earthquakes.
We cannot run away from earthquakes. So tremors will be felt. As I just said that, there are around 475 tremors that happened till 2022. So yes, thank God there had been not much disaster because of the tremors that were felt in Jaipur, and also in Delhi just few months back we felt similar tremors, and more tremors are going to come. But how to make your urban planning so strong that the buildings are so strong and safe that those things do not fall down or suddenly comes crashing down on top of us, and human lives do not get lost in the process. So that is the main reason why this documentary was being done. Now we have taken the case study of Chintal Paradiso. It is a urban planning, it is a disastrous urban planning, I would say. Their materials had excessive chloride, hence it led to corrosion of steel and other important materials within the building,
which is used for the foundation of the building.
Exactly. And after a few years, when all the flats were given to the residents and they started staying, the Tower D of Chintal's Paradiso came crashing down. 2 lives were lost, which is not lot, but yes, at the end of the day, 2 lives was lost.
That's also primarily because it happened in the evening. People were out on their walks. The houses weren't fully not everybody was in those flats when the accident took place.
Exactly. And that led to Gurugram administration actually conduct a structural audit, which was done by IIT Delhi. And today, what has come to the news is this, that Tower D, E, F and G were already declared unfit for living. And today, the 5th tower, that is Tower H, has been declared unfit for living. So, successively, all these towers of Chintal's Paradiso are being declared unfit for any kind of habitation. And what the problem that they are facing is this, that once they are asked to move out, they are not being paid any kind of dues. They are fighting for their dues. They are fighting it in Supreme Court. They are fighting it with Gurugram administration. They are asking for their rent. They are
These
asking for the
flats
right
also don't
price.
come cheap. These flats don't come cheap at all.
Exactly. So one person just spoke to me and he said that when I bought this flat, it was for 1.2 crore or something.
Wow.
And now the builders are giving us just mere 1.3 crores, not according to the market rate, which should be around 1.8 crore. So yes, the builders actually not only cheated them with the material, and imagine a middle class person using all their savings and buying a flat, and suddenly
it's a dream come true for many.
Exactly, and the building comes down. So, and also the successive other buildings are also on the verge of coming down. Some of the towers of Chintal Paradiso, they are almost leaning, and and of course plasters have been peeled off, the iron rods are exposed.
So many have left the Chintal's Paradiso.
Exactly, and so many families are still there. So the rest of the towers, that is 5 towers, have been declared unfit for living. The rest of the towers, the deterioration already has been observed in them, and eventually all of them will also come crashing down. So yes, the Chintal's Paradiso is an example of disastrous urban planning, and all the other societies nearby Chintal Paradiso, that is the 70 other societies in the sector 109 of Gurugram, they are also quite on alert mode, and they have asked Gurugram administration to carry out structural audits in their houses, because it can be very visibly seen that what kind of issues they are facing.
Right, the
leakages.
district town planner
Exactly.
of Gurugram was in a soup himself, because the building did not just come crashing down in Chintal's Paradiso. It seems like the world came crashing down on him. Everybody started calling him out, and because of Chintal's Paradiso, it was an unfortunate blessing in disguise, because these other residents of various other complexes, they became alert. They came out. They started raising their voice.
Hence, so if a powerful earthquake strikes any time, and whether it's a tremor of 7 magnitude, or whether it's a powerful earthquake which strikes in Delhi, then all these buildings which haven't been planned properly, they will come down. So as our experts said, that it's not the earthquake which kills people, but it's the buildings which kill people. So yes, we need to be careful about the kind of buildings that we select and the materials that are being used, and of course the kind of planning that has been done. So
absolutely,
this is a
let's take this forward. I mean, this particular quote, Mr. Sancheti, he's the former chief town planner of Rajasthan. So first and foremost, आज जो जयपुर के इस हादसे के बारे में पता चला, what's your opinion on that? 3 back-to-back seismic activity. Of course, not a lot of news about destruction and buildings coming down, but log सड़कों पर निकल गए थे. There were people thronging the streets late at night, and all were fearful. Shanta just said that it's not the earthquakes that kill you, it's the buildings that kill you. So when you're looking at urban planning, you yourself being a former chief town planner of Rajasthan, unfortunately this event happened in Jaipur. Fortunately, not a lot of no lives that have been lost. When you're trying to balance out urban planning and ensuring safety of people, shortcuts like using cheap material, corrosion of metals because of those cheap material, all those shortcuts, not getting the audits done, what is it that we're missing out here, sir?
Here, if you know that when we start town planning means urban planning. With urban planning, we start means we have to prepare the master plans in the context of the region also. It's not in isolation, this master plan should be studied. So as far as Jaipur is concerned, master plan of Jaipur was prepared in 2011 and it was prepared for the 20 years. While preparing master plan for Jaipur, we have taken all considerations for the earthquake resistance and all other aspects, like where should we keep the residential areas, where should we keep the industrial areas, and connectivity of the roads and facilities and all of this. When we start, as far as urban planning is concerned, that is a plan. And a plan must be perfect where from you are preparing the master plan for that particular area. So I am talking about the Jaipur. Then we start about the zoning of the master plan. Master plan is a policy document, whereas you have to identify the zones, particular zones. There are, I think in Jaipur, there are 30 zones. We have divided total area in 30 zones. And each zone development is in the balanced proposals. So we have given the balanced proposals and identified the problems in that particular area and connectivity and residential area. And we have given the residential area means we have to control the residential density also. Whereas while studying Jaipur master plan, there were many unauthorized construction on agricultural land. There were many kachi bastis. So these were the basic problems while implementing the master plan. Then we come to the individual plot. Means building parameters. We go for the building parameters. How building is safe. When building is safe, when you follow the all parameters which is indicated in the building bylaws, means it is related with the zoning plans, it is related with the master plan. So you have to follow the parameters which have indicated in the particular building bylaws. Means setbacks, height, connectivity, roads widening of the roads, and so many other parameters, ground coverage and everything is there. It is related with the control of the particular building. Then we go to the structural aspects. When we approve the plan or when the local body approve the plans or any authority approve the plans, they have to see all the parameters, safety matters, structural aspects, structural safety that we have to see. So while approving the plans, we have to see all these aspects.
Then these parameters that you're talking about, sir, if tomorrow a homeowner, let's say, comes to you and asks you, Mr. Sancheti, I'm looking to find myself a house. What are some parameters that I should look at to understand if this building or this flat is fit for use or not? What is going to be your response to this person?
This is the response that you should see the building plan is approved. It is structurally safe. All the certificates have been issued to the particular developers, and you should see. It is your responsibility to see all these aspects. The building is structurally safe. Building parameters are followed, setbacks are followed, and height of the building is not unauthorized. Whatever permissions we have given, that height is adhered to. So all these aspects you should tell to the buyers that he should know each and every aspect. So this is one of the aspects. Then last, I would say that the execution is a problem. When we give the permission, if it is not executed properly, it is not seen by the local body. How is it? How developer is construction being done by him? That is the biggest, I think, flaw as far as executors are concerned. So, yes.
Absolutely. Mr. Sancheti here has raised a lot of pertinent points here, Shanta. And we've seen the Turkey earthquakes, we've seen the Delhi earthquakes, the recent Jaipur one in front of us. We're running those visuals. What do you think are prime lessons that from an Indian context we've picked up? Of course, we've not seen that kind of devastation like Haiti, like ones in Mexico, South America, Turkey, but in the national capital, here in Delhi, in India, from an Indian context, what are some of the crucial lessons that we picked up or should pick up?
So NDMA is going to release a plan pretty soon.
For the longest time, they've been releasing this plan, by the way.
Yes, they have been discussing it and it hasn't yet come out yet. So how to, so retrofitting is the biggest option that anybody can opt out for, but of course retrofitting doesn't come easy and is expensive
also.
Exactly. So everything depends on the area, as you were saying, on the area that the house has been built, on the supply of materials, and also everything doesn't have one plan. I mean, if your house is built in a place like Manipur or Mizoram or in Assam or in Shillong, then definitely the retrofitting option over there will be very different to if the houses are built in the plain areas. So that is one of the thing that anybody can opt for, and it will, the prices will differ from place to place and also according to the and zone to zone and according to the requirements of the building. That is one of the option. Second option, which is a problem which has been seen in Turkey as well as in Delhi, is this, that most of these buildings are soft story buildings. Now, what is a soft story building? You can see across Delhi NCR that there are 4 to 5 stories of houses, and they have all pillars down there in order to support these buildings. Mostly those are parking spaces, or those are the places that are rented out for commercial purposes or something
Right,
like
right.
that. Now these are called soft story buildings. Now these are done because India is maximum, it has a lot of population and it has to accommodate as many people as possible.
140 crore
yes,
Indians.
exactly. And hence they try to sublet their areas for parking, or they have to sublet that area for commercial purpose or something like that. And maximum of these soft story buildings in Turkey fell down. It crumbled down completely when the earthquake hit them. So no, of course, suddenly one day, if tremors, that kind of a strong tremors are felt in Delhi, and that kind of a strong jolt is felt, then definitely someday those soft story buildings which are here in Delhi NCR might fall down. And it is a similar case across India, and that's why retrofitting of these buildings are very much necessary.
I'm going to ask Mr. Sancheti for his response on this. Mr. Sancheti, in terms of retrofitting, how sustainable is retrofitting? We've got to look at cost. We've got to look at the amount of retrofitting we'll have to do. So in your opinion, throw some light on how conducive is retrofitting in the Indian context.
Retrofitting means you should study the particular area where we are doing any building or construction of the building and parameters and all other aspects where we are doing everything. So we should see the area and what's the kind of structures you are going to bring in that particular area. What is the parameters? What is the height of sections? What is the approach? Access is very important when anything happens. So these are the parameters. Then the open spaces, then it's a park and facilities. All these facilities you should see. And while executing the plan, it is the responsibility of the either developer or the local bodies to see all these aspects while doing such kind of